What is going on, everybody? This is Boss Han here. Hope you guys having a great day. Happy Saint Patrick's Day, you all. So I didn't realize this was March and it was gonna be published on St. Patrick's Day, which it's gonna be Friday, and that's today. But those who are in the United States probably know that St. Patrick's Day for the 2023 calendar is probably a Friday. So happy St. Patrick's Day, and I guess that this is gonna be a special. I mean, like I was planning to make another video, but I was planning to let's make a story time special. So hope you guys grab your snacks or whatever and enjoy the 5 stories of the 5 days of Boss Han. So basically, I was going to a friend's house and I get there and it's supposed to be me and 2 other friends, which one of them, which we're supposed to go to his house, and the other was dropped off by their parents. So basically, and also me dropped off by my parents. So 3 of us, um, we're going to his house, and right before we're going to his house, he tells us that, at this parking lot, that our parents drop us off. He told us, well, we're gonna call this kid Jay, my friend. Jay told us that he had a Karen encounter here when he was trying to get out to go to the supermarket. And I was like, interesting. A Karen encounter? This might be a good story time for my channel. God dang, I forgot to mute the TV. Not gonna edit that out though. But basically, he told me that he had a Karen encounter. I was like, hey, I'm interested. I want to hear the story about it. He says that he remembers most of it, but not all of it, because I mean, we just came in here. So basically, this story is basically, well, it's basically in this parking lot in this apartment complex, and Jay and his mom were going to go to the supermarket, right? And they were going to go in their car. So they get into the parking lot, and there's a bit of commotion in the parking lot because once they get into the parking lot, they see 2 figures standing out there yelling. And what it looks like is that the situation is that there's this one person that's arguing that's a normal person, and well, there's this other person that's obviously a Karen because she has a haircut type. You already know if it's a Karen or not by how she looks and how she behaves. And so what Jay told me from his understanding is that they figured out pretty quickly is that the Karen, from the situation, the Karen was yelling at the person because he was quote unquote taking her spot that she planned to park in to go to her house. Which the thing is that this guy wasn't stealing her parking spot. It was his parking spot, and the Karen was trying to steal it so she can have the parking lot to herself, and that she would say, "Oh, actually, you can't come into this parking lot because I own it. I pay for it." But no, if you're living in an apartment complex, I'm pretty sure there's a limit to how much parking spots you can have. I mean, like I live in an apartment complex, but I'm pretty sure that you can only have like 2 parking spaces. You can't have like 3, but you can only have 2. So basically, I'm pretty sure that Jay's apartment complex only is able for you to have like 2 or maybe 3. But basically, Karen is trying to steal this person's parking lot, and from what Jay told me is that basically this guy is trying to calmly explain to the Karen that this is not your parking spot. But the Karen just seems to get angrier and angrier. And then she has enough and she says, "That's it, I'm calling the cops because you won't give me my spot back." Hey, you might call me crazy here, but I think that if you're calling on the cops because someone's quote unquote stealing your spot when that's when you're not when they're not actually stealing your spot, you're stealing your spot. I don't feel like that's a very serious situation because I'm pretty sure that anyone can figure that out. All right, it's apartment complex. All right, But I'm pretty sure, if you call 911 for false emergencies, you can probably get a fine or something like that. And like this obviously is not serious that she's probably gonna get a fine for doing that. But hey, I mean, call me crazy if you want. Maybe I'm in the wrong, cause I don't know. But I just think that calling the cops because you need someone removed from a parking spot is just very wrong. All right. But the cops do show up, and well, you can honestly tell the cops were confused, and he was like, so I've been having a complaint that something is going on over here, and the Karen says, yes, something bad's going on over here. He's stealing my parking spot, and the man obviously says, no, this is my parking spot. We can go, to, the front office, and they can explain that I paid for this parking spot. But because, Karens aren't Karens, the Karen starts yelling out, "No, lies, lies. He's lying. He did not pay for that parking spot. Don't listen to him. He didn't talk with the front desk about getting a parking spot." However, the cop was getting pretty annoyed by her yelling, and the cop was like, "Hey, Karen, please calm down. There's no reason to get this upset. We can deal with this situation when he shows us evidence." So, but the Karen, did not like what he said, what the police officer said. And she starts saying, "No, I will not calm down. You need to tell him to move his car out of the way so I can get to my parking spot." And the cop is kind of getting a little bit more annoyed as she's yelling, because even though when he's nicely trying to say, "Hey, ma'am, please calm down. This is not serious. However, if you keep yelling, we're gonna have to do this the hard way." Well, unfortunately, the Karen keeps yelling. However, this time around, she is more angrier. Because from what Jay told me is that the Karen is not getting what she wants. Because, the car isn't getting out of the way. The car isn't moving. She won't get her spot. So she keeps getting louder, and this time she demands that the car needs to be towed. In which the cop says, "Ma'am, we will have this car towed when we can see the evidence that he paid for it." But the Karen says that it needs to be towed immediately, right now. And the cop has enough evidence that she's done. So the cop says, "I'm sorry, Karen, but I've tried to be nice to you, but it looks like it's not going to be going the nice way." So the cop reaches for his handcuffs, and then she tackles the Karen. Well, not tackle, but she puts the Karen in handcuffs. And then the Karen squeals, saying, What? Why are you arresting me? No, you're arresting the wrong person. It's that man. He's stealing my parking spot." Which the thing is, it's not how it works, alright? The reason why you're in handcuffs is because you're being too loud. You're too loud to the point where the cop had to put you in handcuffs because you're not dealing with the situation properly. Maybe if you were nice and let the man show evidence that maybe there could be a possibility that he didn't pay for the parking spot, but we can honestly tell that he did pay for the parking spot, so you would be in the wrong. But the police officer takes a Karen in the car, and they're gone. Karen is gone, and everything is back to normal.
Yeah! This happened when I was in the 8th grade, and I happened to be told by my English teacher that we, as a class, will be having a test next week. I, of course, don't like tests, but I knew that it's the only grade that will only get my English grade up to an A. You see, how my school works at my middle school is that if you get a score 70% or higher, your grade will go up no matter what, and at the time my English grade was AB. And my mom said if my English grade gets to an A, then she will give me $40. Of course I bet that, and I studied 1 hour a day, and after that I would play my favorite video game Cross Out. However, there's this kid in my class, we are gonna call him Tyler, as the spoiled kid. And Tyler, as we all are aware, he has a lot of money, and every day Tyler would go up to people and flex his wealth by saying how poor all these people are and shouldn't go to such a rich school. Although on one occasion the spoiled kid was right about this school being a rich school, skull emoji. However, since he was spoiled, he wouldn't do work, because he has so much money he can do anything he wants, and that money will do everything apparently. Anyways, fast forward 1 week, and it's the day of the test. However, our English teacher told us that we will have 15 extra minutes to prepare, so when the teacher sits back down get papers, I was talking with other classmates about if they studied the test. However, little did I know, Tyler, the spoiled kid himself, wants all the attention he wants, so he interrupts the 2-minute conversation I was having with a classmate and says, "You guys are so poor that you have to study. Lucky for me, I can go to a lot of shops instead." But I'd ignored him, which angered Tyler, so he started to bring up bullshit insults at me, which I kept my cool and ignored. Luckily, when me and my classmate were done with the quote-unquote peaceful conversation about the test, the English teacher got up from his seat and said, "All right class, today we're going to be taking the test. I hope you guys have been preparing a lot, since this test will be a big percentage of your grade." I looked directly at Tyler, to see his face with a big grin, knowing he will pass the test easily. However, I knew much more than him because I study a lot. Fast forward after the test, and I'm in my seat all tired because of the test. It was very exhausting and kind of hard. I again looked at Tyler, and he had his phone out. He was probably looking at Discord or TikTok. Then I turned back to my seat waiting for the day to be over, but before the class was over, the teacher got up from his chair and said, "So class, I'll be grading your tests over the weekend. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend." Fast forward again to Monday, and it's a day we get our grades. I was very nervous what my grade was, considering I kind of had trouble with doing the test. Anyways, the teacher starts walking up to the front of the class and starts talking. "So class, all of you have done a very great job on the test. I'm all proud of you. However, a small percentage of you kind of failed the test and need some more practice. There will be a retake in the next class." Then she gets the papers and start handing them out. He starts with me and puts my paper down, and very excitingly and strangely, I got an A- on the test. In my mind at that point was in tears of happiness, as I knew I was going to get that $40. I looked towards Tyler, with his paper flipped upside down. And when he flipped it up, I saw his face change from a sneaky smirk to "Oh shit, I failed." And as soon as Tyler got his paper, he raised his hand and yelled, "Teacher, teacher, I think you messed up." However, the teacher told him that that was the grade he got because he didn't do very well and you need to get more practice. Next time if you study you'll get a better grade, and goes back to handing more tests. But because Tyler is a spoiled kid, he thinked money can do everything. So Tyler told the teacher that if he were to give him $20 could he change his grade. The teacher honestly said, "No." But then Tyler said again, "If I pay you $40 then will you change it?" Again the teacher said, "No." Tyler said, "Why not? Why can't you accept money?" Though I should have done this from the beginning. We are going to call the teacher Mr. Armstrong. Armstrong said, "I don't take money to change grades cause I would get fired." And finishes passing out the tests and goes back to the front of the class. At that point I saw the spoiled kid's face turned very red, not wanting to admit defeat, so like all spoiled kids, Tyler said, "If you don't change my grade I'll be suing the school." Mr. Armstrong was taking it back, wondering why he would do that. Mr. Armstrong, though, is a very cool back teacher. He is very chill, so we didn't expect him to freak out. But the spoiled kid Tyler is trying to make Armstrong break, but it never happened. After a heated argument, Mr. Armstrong said, "If you keep acting like this I'm going to have to send you to the principal's office for legal services." The spoiled kids though didn't let up, and so tried to threat him to sue. This argument kept going on and on for 45 minutes, and at that point the teacher called security, and then Tyler realized he messed up, and then 15 minutes later he was sent to the principal's office. Fast forward the next day at school, I was wondering where Tyler went, and it turns out, from one of the students. Tyler was so spoiled he got in a fight with the security and the principal and was expelled immediately.
But lucky for me, I was able to get a very, very interesting story. You know those Minecraft kids? Well, guess what? They're Terraria kids. And when I mean Terraria kids, this I don't know if you guys play this game, but there's this game called Terraria. It's very similar to Minecraft, but imagine you playing Minecraft, right? But it's 2D version. So like it would be easier to like play the game and stuff. But it overall, I think Terraria is much better than Minecraft. I mean, yeah, 2D. Minecraft kind of has a little bit better graphics. I think Terraria kind of a little bit does. But today's story is this Terraria kid, and well, my online friend has a cousin that is very obsessed with Terraria to the point where, in one time, like when this, oh my god, the online friend went to his cousin's house. Did I said? Yeah, it was his cousin's house, and he was over there, and they were both playing Terraria. But his cousin got so mad, right? He got so mad because he was like yelling so many times that he literally punched and threw his console out of the window. So the whole entire thing started when we're first of all we're gonna call the guy who sent, well, my online friend who sent me this story. We're just gonna call him Dave, I guess. I just come up with random names, not for like any purpose, whatever. Like, yeah, for the story, but like memes or whatever, some sort of like movie or whatever. But we're just gonna call this guy Dave. And basically, Dave's mom got a text from the cousin mom, that she wanted to know if we can have like, if I like, no, not I, but Dave can have a sleepover. And Dave's mom was like, oh, sure. And the thing is that Dave and his cousin, they live about like 1 hour away from each other, which the thing is that there's between Dave and his cousin, there's a huge mountain that separates them both. So they have to go around the mountain, which that's the reason why it takes an hour to get to his house. Though the cousin, we're gonna call, I guess, the Terraria kid. The Terraria kid doesn't live very close to the mountain, but he kind of like, he just lives close on the up. He just lives like on the other side of the mountain. But so when Dave basically heard the news, Dave was very excited because Dave and his cousin, they were on very good terms. But Dave wasn't expecting to experience something that's about to happen during his sleepover, which I would expect, my cousin to like freak out, think it's gonna be the end of the world because they are just like, they just can't like stand still in the game. They can't like, you know, but like basically, he's very excited to go to his cousin's house, and he packs up his stuff and he gets ready to leave. So later, he gets to his cousin's house, and what I would say is that his cousin is kind of in a rich neighborhood, but I mean, like, they're kind of a little bit rich, so the house kind of looks a little bit nicer. And the thing is that, his cousin was very obsessed with Terraria, that his whole room was just Terraria themed. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of like Pokemon and stuff, but mostly it's just Terraria. Even his bed and his desk is Terraria themed. Terraria bed and Terraria table. Not like the actual like Terraria table where it's like just a wooden table, but like Terraria stickers and whatnot. But he once like once they meet to the front door, the cousin's mom was like, all the stuff. Oh, Dave, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad we're able to work this stuff out. And but later, once Dave and the Terraria kid met up, they went up to play video games like Terraria. Dave did play Terraria, but not that much. I mean, like, he was glad he was able to play it once again. He was thinking about uninstalling it, but then he kind of went back to his childhood like I did. I mean, I'm now starting to play Terraria more. Maybe I'll use Terraria as more of my gameplay, but so basically Dave and the Terraria kid started playing Terraria, I mean, a lot, and everything seemed good, you know? They chatted a lot while playing the game. They're starting to get more materials. But, I mean, of course, they're just starting Terraria, so, you know, they're not going to have the epic loot. But, I mean, they were able to build a decent house in, like, 4 hours and make new tools and armor and all that stuff until at some point, you know, I mean, or should I say, after dinner, all right, when it was time to go to bed, but not exactly before to go to bed, you know, because after dinner, it was obviously 7 p.m. All right, so it was not exactly a bedtime, but since it was during the summer, no, this was during winter break, so it was about like 2 months ago. All right, I mean, it would be 2 months ago, obviously, if it was February. I mean, it's almost been 2 months ago, but this was it. I mean, since right now it's January, this was like a month ago. All right, but basically, these two guys, Dave and the Terraria kid, they're all up at night. I mean, for the rest of the 3 hours before they go to bed. I mean, they stayed up until like 11 p.m. I don't know, maybe like 12, but Dave said that they stayed up pretty much until 11, or should I say he said Dave said that you know why they stayed up until 11. All right, but basically during they played Terraria some more. They started getting more loot until a problem came, all right? Because the night became harder and harder because as you play the game, like, you start finding more harder creatures. And well, the blood moon came, and if you don't know what the blood moon is, it's basically an event where the moon turns red and there's harder mobs to fight, all right? So this comes around, and well, Dave is doing pretty good. On the other hand, the Terraria kid seems a little bit not really good at defending himself. He's constantly dying. He's not. He's trying to fight the monsters, but he ends up like dying a bunch of times. And I don't mean in real life, like in the game. He's getting eliminated so much in the game that he can't. He's not becoming as good as he is of what Dave thought. However, every time he died in the game, not Dave, but the Terraria kid, every time he died in the game, alright, he started to get angrier and angrier and angrier to the point where as soon as the blood moon started to, be over, Dave was trying to, clear up the village, trying to destroy the last of the monsters. But the very last monster, the Terraria kid was so close to defeating it, but somehow still died. Alright, and when that happened, Dave looked at the Terraria kid and was like, "Hey, is everything alright?" You kind of seem a little bit mad. I mean, like, you've been dying so many times, what's going on? And as soon as he said that, the Terraria kid, Laurie throws his controller, says, "I can't take it anymore," and Larry just unplugs his console. Okay, first I said laptop. Wait, yeah, laptop. No, they're actually playing on console, not on computer. Sorry, but yeah, he took out the console and just threw it out of the window, and just like that. They heard a loud bang of the console, and pretty much it was dead. They couldn't play anymore. And he said, "Screw this game. I don't want to play this game anymore." However, alright, when the Terraria kid, alright, said what he said, alright, it was so loud enough that the whole entire house was able to hear it. So his mom obviously was awake and heard what her son, and the mom went upstairs and was like, Terraria kid, is there something wrong? I heard a loud bang outside. And that's when the Terraria kid realized he done something bad. He destroyed his console over getting mad at pixels on a screen. Alright? He got mad when his character got eliminated by a mob. He got mad at a video game, alright? And when his mom came into his room, he realized that the Terraria Kid's console was gone. And she's like, hey, Terraria Kid. Or should I say, hey, son, where's the console? I mean, I heard a loud bang. Did you throw it over the window? And the Terraria Kid obviously blocked the window and says, oh, I didn't throw it over here. However, the mom was kind of getting, the hints of he did because the window's open. The window wouldn't be open if he didn't throw the console, right? So the mom was like, are you sure, Terraria Kid? Because why is the window open? And that's when Dave looked in the Terraria Kid's eyes and was like, bro, you seriously messed up, okay? You didn't close a window in time? How are you gonna pay for a new console? And the thing is that, alright, Dave's cousin's mom, alright, the Terraria Kid's mom bought him an Xbox Series X one. Yeah, the Xbox console, right? And, well, because of that, the spoiled kid, oh my god, not the spoiled kid, the Terraria Kid, alright? Terraria Kid knew that he is not going to be able to get another console because he broke the console that he didn't buy himself, alright? So, when the mother pushed the Terraria Kid out of the way and looked down, you can already see in the eyes that she was shocked. So, she turned to the Terraria Kid and started yelling. Alright. Oh, sorry about. I don't know if you were able to hear that, but I was about to open up Halo Infinite. Alright. But considering I'm using Halo Infinite in the background gameplay, but that's when Dave told me, in the story that Terraria Kid's mom wasn't pretty happy. Right. So then, she yelled at him, and well, after all the yelling, alright, Terraria Kid's mother pulled her son out of the room to have very stern talking, and about like 2 minutes, after the stern talking, Dave saw a very sad face on the Terraria Kid, alright, and Dave was like, yo, so what was that talking? And obviously I said, the Terraria Kid told Dave, alright, the guy who sent me this story from online, is that it was grounded. The Terraria Kid was grounded for 2 months for getting mad at pixels on a screen and breaking his console. And, this all could have been prevented if the Terraria Kid lost his cool, but of course, he is so addictive that he can easily get mad over the game. I'm learning to saying pixels on the screen so many times. I mean, technically, we're looking at pixels on a screen when we look at a device, alright? Pixels. But after that situation just kind of got a little bit awkward. They didn't want to talk to each other. After that. But after this whole entire thing, they started to talk a little bit more. The weird thing is that after this whole entire thing happened, the Terraria Kid got a little bit less and less, mad about the game, and just sort of enjoyed it more for some reason. I don't know how, but I guess after situations you learn your lesson. That's supposed to happen, all right? That's supposed to happen. Yes, this Terraria Kid learned his lesson. That's how Minecraft kids should learn the lessons, considering most Minecraft kids don't really learn the lesson. But yeah, that's mostly the story. That's the end of it. I haven't done story times like this in a long time. I already had cut certain parts of this audio because my siblings can't keep it down.
Hello everyone. So basically I got a story sent to me by my friend, and the story is about the time his spoiled cousin got destroyed by a furry, and after that the spoiled kid did the unimaginable. So grab a Zero Alpha Monster Energy drink and a Subway sandwich, and let's get into it. So what my friend told me is that this happened about 2 years ago, and we're going to call my friend Monster Energy because I've been drinking Monster Energy drinks. And at this time Monster Energy was invited to a family reunion which they do every 2 or 3 months. And this reunion was a family party, and every time his mom would tell Monster Energy that we are going to a reunion he would get excited. Fast forward to the reunion and they meet all of his cousins at his oldest cousin's house, which Monster Energy's cousin was 1 year older than him. But also Monster Energy was 15, so the oldest cousin is 16. And we're going to call the 16-year-old Tom, also known as the furry kid. And even though Tom was a furry he would act like a normal person, he would have normal conversations and do normal more things, according to Monster Energy. So when Monster Energy opens the door, he sees his Tom opening the door. They greeted and talked for a while before coming inside, seeing their all his cousins in the front room playing Mario Kart. But also to know Monster Energy was a really big Pokemon fan, so he brought his Pokemon cards with him, in which also Tom was a big Pokemon fan. And when Monster Energy enters the house he gets to meet all his cousins, which they're all up watching the other 4 cousins playing Mario Kart. Monster Energy greets himself and the other cousins are excited to see him, except for one cousin we're going to name the spoiled kid because that's obvious. He ignored the greeting and kept playing Mario Kart, and Monster Energy notices this and said, "Hey spoiled kid, how are you? It looks like you were very focused." The spoiled kid says back in angry tone, "I'm in the game, be quiet," which Monster Energy wasn't trying to be rude, he was just trying to have a nice conversation. But the spoiled kid ends up losing the game to the older cousin, and as soon as that happens the spoiled kid just throws the controller. But fortunately one of the other cousins catches the controller before it hits the ground, and the spoiled kid screams, "I hate this game, it's too hard." Well, if it's too hard then you need more practice to get more victories, because that sounds like a skill issue. I mean, listen here, I'm not great at some video games, but if I'm playing with my cousins I'm definitely going to have a great time. But anyways, it gets to that time where it's dinner time, and for dinner is pizza, and don't get me wrong, pizza is really good. But when pizza was served on the dinner table the spoiled kid immediately springs up and says, "Why isn't this pizza from Little Caesars, why is from Domino's?" And all of them including the furry and Monster Energy are confused because it's just pizza. I know sometimes it's not to be from your favorite pizza place, but thing is, you have to understand you're not going to always have your favorite pizza place unless you're at home. I mean, for Christ's sake, my favorite pizza place is Little Caesars. But most of the time I have Domino's pizza instead, I'm okay with it. But back to the story, the furry kid says, "Yeah, it's from Domino's, what's the problem?" And the spoiled kid says, "I want Little Caesars, not Domino's, I hate Domino's." And the furry kid's mom, which is the host of the reunion, says, "I'm sorry, but it's the only pizza place we are able to afford right now. Maybe next time we can order Little Caesars, but for now just eat Domino's." And the spoiled kid is having none of it. And the spoiled kid starts complaining and having a tantrum, saying he wants Domino's over and over again. In 3 minutes go by and the spoiled kid won't stop complaining. And one of the cousins speaks up and says, "Can you please stop it? No one cares. If you don't like the pizza, just don't eat it." And the spoiled kid spices up and says, "You can't tell me to stop complaining, it is my right to complain." And the cousin says, "Okay, alright. But if you're going to complain everyone's going to be annoyed." And for some reason, bro, the spoiled kid's gears in his mind just won't fix and move, because the second the cousin said that the spoiled kid pipes up and starts yelling. He's saying that he's had enough and that he is going to get his revenge. And the spoiled kid starts getting up from his seat and goes to charge the cousin, but luckily the furry kid stops in the small kid's tracks. And the spoiled kid is a little bit stubborn by this and says, "Get out of my way, I'm going to teach this kid a lesson." And the furry kid says, "No, you're not, go sit back down, no reason to fight over pizza, it's just stupid." And still the spoiled kid's mind won't click, and the spoiled kid starts shoving the furry kid. However, what Monster Energy told me was that the furry kid goes to the gym on a daily basis. So when the spoiled kid punches the furry kid, and it doesn't do anything. And when that happens, the spoiled kid's mom realizes what's happening and yells at the spoiled kid to stop and go sit down. But because spoiled kid was spoiled, the spoiled kid then pipes up to his mom and says, "You can't tell me what to do, I want to teach these kids a lesson and that is it." And spoiled kid's mom was taken aback by this and then says, "If you wear a finger on one of the cousins then we're going home." And when the spoiled kid hears this, he literally starts having a tantrum in front of everyone, and when the spoiled kid does this, one of the cousins kind of chuckle. And I don't know how the spoiled kid was able to hear the chuckle, because clearly the chuckle was unhearable due to the amounts of whining and complaining from the spoiled kid. And when the spoiled kid hears a chuckle, he turns to the other cousin and starts yelling at him, and the spoiled kid literally grabs a Nerf gun and starts whacking the cousin with it. But of course the furry kid was much older than everyone else, that he blocked the Nerf gun from hitting the smaller cousin. But because Nerf guns are made out of plastic, the Nerf guns do what they're going to do and they're going to hit him. So the furry kid starts getting whacked by the Nerf gun by the spoiled kid, but the furry kid seems ineffective. Now when the furry kid turns around and looks at the spoiled kid, from what Monster Energy told me, is that you know those looks people give you, like how a teacher gives you when you're in trouble? Their stare is calm but you know the fear from their eyes. That's a stare the furry kid gives to the spoiled kid, and when that happens, the spoiled kid does the most stupidest thing, and starts complaining like a Karen. "The furry kid is attacking me, he's attacking me." But of course no one is concerned because the spoiled kid started it, but because the spoiled kid's mom saw what happened, the mom yelled at her son that they are leaving and to pack his stuff. However, the spoiled kid still won't stop complaining, so the mom has to do the packing for him, and they leave. And after that happens, everyone was just like what just happened. Because seconds later the spoiled kid was chill, but now he's like an angry caveman. Bro, I feel like spoiled kids are getting more spoiled and taking advantage of their parents, and if your kid is acting like this, I feel like that you're not parenting your kid very well. But of course I can't tell you what to do, I'm literally telling stories on the internet for entertainment, I'm not asking you to follow advice. But moral of the story, just don't get mad at the simplest things that could just be avoided easily. Alright, if you don't complain then everything's going to be good. Alright. Like the video if you laughed, and comment your favorite part of the story.
Alrighty, hello everyone, this is Boss Han here. So today I'm gonna remaster. I wanted to remaster a story time I did about a year ago, and this channel has been up for at least 2 years now. I mean, it's 2023, and I started in 2021, quote unquote. But after a year, after a year, alright, I want to get into story times. So I'll put the original link to the original video of the story time, and the reason why I wanted to remaster the story was because I feel like I had a lot more spaces when I talked. You know how you talk and there's just a bunch of spaces where someone has to take their time and try to think what they're gonna say and know what their story time is about. Alright, just get to the point. So I wanted to remaster the story so I sound a lot better. And by the way, since I have a language disorder, I tried to have a better voice of commentary. But yeah, I'll post the original story in the link in a link below in the pinned comment and the description. But anyways, this story was basically about the time I got attacked, or should I say yelled at by a Karen when I was 7 years old at a water park. It kind of gets a little bit crazy. Not crazy, but just kind of, what the Karen does. They just scream at everybody. That's what they usually do. But anyways, let's get into it. So basically, there was this one time where I was invited to a birthday party, but not just any other party. It was at a water park, and it's not like I would go to any birthday parties, concerning I was a very busy person, concerning I had not a lot of schoolwork, but I was just busy with some other stuff in general, family. And basically, I didn't get, however, unfortunately, I didn't, and it was also the reason that I didn't get a lot of invites. But fortunately, I was able to get this invite from someone, and my mom was able to take me to this water park. And I don't know who invited me to this water park. I don't know, but I was invited to this water park, and it took about like 45 minutes to get there. And it was a cool water park, all right. However, I still remember it. I still remember like what it looks like. However, like I don't remember how to get there, but I just know what the place looked like. I mean, I wish I can go back there, but unfortunately, I don't know how to get there, right? Exactly. But that's not what the point. The point is of how I got, yelled at of Karen. So we met up at this birthday party, and we saw the people that were setting up the birthday party. So me and my mom, all right, we went to go over and say hi. I was like, hello, all that stuff. And then I went to go play at the water park area. And at this area of the water park, there was the little splash thingies in the water area, but there was also like this playground where like there was the little houses. You guys know what a playground looks like. So I want to go play at the playground, but I mean this is a water park, so of course I went there too. But I was more interested in playing the water park. I mean, not the water park, but the playground. So I go up and to explore this house because I was more interested in that than getting splashed around by a bunch of water cannons. However, I saw this kid that was also at this water park, and I got to meet. And because we're 7-year-olds, we pretty much become friends already. I mean, there's like not that much to do, so of course, we're just gonna use our imagination to do stuff. So we just start playing around. I guess I'll just call this kid Charmander. I just watched Pokemon, but basically, Charmander and me, we basically just play around this park, do what kids do these days. And however, at one point, we were playing a game of tag, I think. And at some point during tag, we were also running on top of the playground house, water house, whatever you call it. But we were running, and I accidentally trip. All right. However, because I was the chaser, I tagged him, right? However, I for some reason it was able to push him, but also trip him as well. Because when I fell, I guess my head kind of pushed him, which then leaned over and tripped. Not only that, he also fell off of the playground. So when I saw that he wasn't there, I was like, "Hey, Charmander, where are you?" And well, I mean, that's not his real name. I don't know. I should have just said that at the beginning, but that's not his real name. Just by the way, I'm just using an example. But um, that's when I realized that he wasn't on the playground. So I got up, which I kind of hurt a little bit, but not much. And I started looking around, and I turned to my left, and I see Charmander laying on the ground. And at first, I thought like I, injured him or something, but I don't know how, or maybe it was just luck or something. But he's okay. He stands up completely fine, and he's doesn't feel any pain at all. So I was like, "Hey, Charmander, are you okay? You seem like you're hurt or something." And with a smile, he's like, "Nope, I'm perfectly fine. Let's go play some more." And of course, me being the little innocent person that I am, I'm like, "Oh, sure, all right, let's go play some more." So we keep playing some more. However, as soon alright as me and Charmander would have some more fun, that's when I hear a little bit of the yelling in the background. Alright, guys. However, I mean, of course, I'm 7 years old, but when I was back then, I did not know what a Karen was. However, my mom, of course, told me that out in the world there's going to be some angry people. And my mom told me that, sometimes be aware of angry people. And because of that, as soon as I hear some yelling, I was like, uh oh, it's an angry person. What's that? However, I turn around and there's this angry lady walking around. However, I thought that she was, looking at something else, yelling at someone else. However, I kind of got a little bit nervous when she was walking towards me and yelling at me. she walks over towards me, and she starts yelling in my face, "Did you hurt my child? Why would you do that?" And when she said that, I was like, "No, no, that was an accident. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trip over your son. All right, we were just playing tag. Plus, we were running. Yeah, we might have been not that much responsible of playing on the playground. I mean, playing on the house, whatever. We should have just ran on the flat surface, but we decided to play on the house. So it's fine. We're okay." And even Charmander's like, "Mom, it's fine, it's fine. Just you don't have to be mad." However, the Karen, obviously being a Karen, ignores her son. Is like, "Where's your mother? I'm gonna tell her of how bad you've been being." And me being very confused because I obviously didn't do anything wrong, said back, "What are you talking about? What do you mean? All right, I didn't do anything wrong. We were playing tag. I didn't. He's all right. I accidentally hit him, but I don't think there's any reason why to tell my mom I was being bad, because I absolutely did nothing wrong." However, the Karen sort of kind of got a little bit angry of this because she knows that I am right, because I didn't do anything in the first place. However, she got a little bit more angry and angry until someone noticed after she was yelling at me. So then someone came over and argued with the Karen, and I looked at Charmander with a face of like, "This woman is crazy." And when Charmander sees my face, he tells me, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's just that my mom is just a little bit crazy sometimes." A little bit crazy sometimes. You're telling me your mom's a little bit crazy, alright? How about you just tell mom that some things are, like, if I mean you're since you were all right, I mean your mom shouldn't have any problems, all right? Because I mean, like, you guys made up, all right? However, that argument, which I don't remember anything, because I mean, like, after the Karen started yelling at the person, I wasn't worried about the argument, so I went back to playing. However, from what I can remember next of what happening was when the Karen yelled at her son Charmander, saying, "Charmander, get over here. We're leaving this place. We're never coming back." And Charmander replied, "Mom, what are you talking about? Everyone's so nice. You're just being a rude mom." And then the Karen just stops and looks at him with the death stare, I guess. And she said, "What did you say? What did you say, young man?" And Charmander was like, "Mom, you're being too mean, alright? Everyone's just having a good time. No one's being mean to each other. You saw Boss Hand, alright? He tripped me, right? But it was unaccidental. I'm fine. There's no reason why we should be going." But Karen doesn't listen to that and tells her son, "We're going now." And she literally comes over and picks her son up, and well, they left. So yeah, that was this time where I got jumped by a 7-year-old. Well, not jumped by a 7-year-old, but I got yelled by a Karen about the age of 7. I hope you guys enjoyed this remastered story. If you guys like the original story over below, you can watch the original one, alright? But other than that, if you guys don't press the like button, alright, I can guarantee you 7 years in the future, maybe if you have a job or something, or maybe in school or somewhere, you'll be attacked by a crazy Karen, alright? And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.